Hey there friends, welcome back to the Startup Experiment where I'm trying to build 12 startups in 12 months. Today's episode is going to be all about SaaS templates. I feel like SaaS templates are taking over the internet right now. Everywhere that I turn, I see someone promoting their new Next.js SaaS template for sale. But should I be using one on my next project? And if so, which one should I use? In this episode, I'll specifically dive into the SaaS template world for React Native and Expo templates. I'm going to be sharing my experiences as I try to kickstart one of my new projects by using these templates. And let me tell you, it's not as easy and straightforward as I was hoping it to be. Let's jump right in. So as I mentioned in the intro, I'm developing a new mobile application. This is the second startup that I've been working on for the Startup Experiment. I've gone over the microhabits application in previous episodes, but it's basically a mobile application to track your habits and see your progress over time as you get better at a particular skill or activity. I've been a software engineer for almost 10 years now, but this is my first time doing anything with a mobile application. I've got experience with React and Node and other web technologies, but I've never done anything with native programming languages like Swift or Kotlin. And so I thought it would be a great idea to use React Native as I build out this mobile application. Since this is my first mobile application, I was really looking forward to finding a template or some boilerplate code that would allow me to get set up quickly, I really wanted to think less about setting something up and spending time doing all that, and more about developing features and getting this application out quickly. So the criteria was all set. I wanted something that was full featured, that would allow me to hit the ground running. I wanted a template that used React Native so I could leverage some of my existing React skill set. And I wanted something that wasn't too bloated with features that I wasn't going to use. My first attempt at creating a React Native application, I used the OBytes starter here. I loved all the features that they had listed under their key features. They had TypeScript, they had Tailwind, they've implemented Husky, they're using Expo router, they've got auth flows and local storage already set up for you. They're using React Query and Axios, two tools that I've used before to fetch data. And they even threw in some of the project setup stuff like Jest for testing and ESLint and Prettier. Not only did this seem like the perfect template, but it was actually free to use. So I quickly instantiated a new project, but I wasn't even able to get it running. Before I was even able to get this boilerplate running, it was riddled with errors that kept popping up on my local machine. This is not to point blame or shift the blame to this OBytes company. They've actually done a lot of great work here. I just wasn't able to get it working locally on my machine. I might not have the knowledge or the experience in order to get this up and running. I might need something a little bit simpler. I could spend a lot more time trying to figure out what is actually going wrong here, or I can cut my losses and try the next template and see if that works any better. And so that's what I did. I found this Expo starter template. During my research, I found that Expo is kind of the big player right now when it comes to building and shipping native applications off to the respective iOS and Android app stores. So I want to make sure that any template that I use is compatible with Expo. Now, while this template wasn't quite as fully featured, it still had a lot of the main things that I was looking for, and you can always add in different packages later as I need them. But this boilerplate also had its own issues. I was not able to get this boilerplate working with Expo Go. Being able to see a live development version of my application on my phone as I build it is really, really helpful for building out any sort of application. So this one also quickly got crossed off the list after another couple hours of trial and error. The final template that I ended up landing on was one of the Expo templates that the company publishes on their GitHub. So they've got 4 different templates there. I went with the navigation and TypeScript template because those are things that I'm going to use within my application. The Expo template was up to date, unlike that last Expo starter that I showed you, which looks like it had been last updated about a year ago, and it worked perfectly the first time. Now I do have to spend some time configuring my repo to add in some extra things like this OBytes starter had, but I have a working application and I've already built production Android and iOS versions of it. So this is a great start. Lastly, I want to call out this React Native boilerplate. Although this doesn't explicitly call out that I could use it with Expo, it does have a lot of the features that I'm looking for in a template to get a project off the ground quickly. If I take a look at their guide here, they've got examples for data fetching, they've got examples for navigation, using environment variables and local storage. This is something that I recently found this morning and I started to mess around with, and this might also be another great option for me to use for my mobile application. I want to make sure I share the knowledge that I've gained over the last few days with you guys, so I'll throw it all in a blog post and I'll link that down below. And I'll also make sure that all the links to these different templates and repos are available down in the description of this video. One of the things I love most about software engineering is that we stand on the shoulders of giants. What do I mean by that? Well, we're able to build off the work of people that have come before us to allow us to achieve more than we would have on our own. When I'm looking to use the template on a project, that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to be able to piggyback on some of the work that someone's done before in order to move more quickly. But this quickly falls apart when we run into problems that we're not able to get past, like the errors that I found with the OBytes template running locally on my computer. This is still one of my least favorite aspects of the job, looking into these random little errors and trying to figure out what's going on just so I can get this code to run. I really love it when I can start with working code, and then if things do break or I'm not able to get it to work, I'm able to revert back to a place where it is working again. And then I can more easily figure out, hey, what actually went wrong here? But now I'm in a great place. I've got a couple different templates that I can use to start building out the different features of my microhabits application. And that's what I'm going to be doing this week. I've taken the time this week to plan out and prioritize all the different features that will go into the microhabits application, and then prioritize them based on what's going to go into the minimal viable product and the simple, lovable version of this application. So I'm going to be working heads down to build that over the next couple weeks, and then hopefully launch that here before the end of the month. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I really want to understand what sort of content you guys like on this channel, and so the best way to do that is to drop a comment below and just tell me. Don't forget to enjoy the dog moment of the week, and I will see you next week. Bye.